I'm a couple minutes early, but keep getting your stuff together. Lay out your mat or sit wherever you're at. We can grab some things around your house if you need some modifications. So you can grab like a small couch pillow. And then if you want to, you can grab a nice big blanket. Anything nice and squishy to help support your lower back throughout this, just for modifications. And I'll reference when you can use those. You can use the pillow and the blanket whenever we're sitting nice and tall and you need some extra support to help make that spine nice and long. But as always, you can always sit up against a wall. So if you're sitting like in your bedroom floor or wherever you're in your house, you can sit right up against a wall to help make you have a nice long spine, because it does take some core work to just do it all on your own. But keep trickling in, getting your stuff, getting ready, getting your water, whatever else you need. And I am just going to quickly run through the principles of Pilates. So the first one is awareness, which I always want us to be aware of everything that our body is doing. That's a big point in Pilates. And with awareness comes our breath centering. So I always want us to breathe throughout this session. Nice big inhales and exhales. Usually, instructors will have you inhale on the easiest portion of the exercise and exhale at the hardest. But as long as you're breathing, since this is a beginner class, that's all that matters to me. Just breathing throughout the whole thing. Sometimes it may feel funny, like you're breathing too much, but I promise your muscles need all that good oxygen. And then next we have our alignment. Like I was saying, using the modifications with the pillow and the blanket. We want to have a nice long spine. We want to be in the line, we don't want to throw it off center. We want to find that center so we can find our breath and have a nice long spine. And then our next two principles are stability and mobility, which go hand in hand together. So a lot of our exercises that we'll be doing throughout this class this morning is going to be one portion of our body is going to be stable. Sometimes that's the hips down, sometimes it's the hips up, but regardless, one portion of your body is going to be stable while the other is mobile, and that will just help you become more aware of your body and be able to breathe and work through the exercise even more. And then we have opposition. So with the stability and mobility, let's say our hips up are stable, but our hips down are moving. Us reaching that opposition and having those two opposing forces is going to make that powerhouse, your core, which Pilates is centered around, work even harder. So this core is going to get fired up today. And then we have our control. So I always want us to go through our movements throughout this session like we're going through wet cement. Since we're on the mat, we have to create our tension within our own body, as opposed to us being on the reformers and pushing against the springs. And then we have our last three, which all coincide with one other. So we have our focus, our precision, and flow. So that, again, Pilates is all about just being aware of your body, of being aware of what you're doing throughout the session, being aware of why you're doing it, being aware of why you're holding stable in one point and moving in the other. So we always just want to flow through this and breathe through this. This session is going to be focused on just breaking down good principled Pilates exercises, especially amazing for a beginner class because we get to lay the foundation. That way you have a good foundation, and then that way you can progress even more throughout your Pilates journey. So hopefully everyone is set up and ready and just heard my little rant. But again, I'm Audrey from Pilates Plus of Schaumburg. We are going to be doing a beginner breakdown session this morning, and we are going to get started. But before I have us laid down, I just want us to breathe so we can relax our body, forget about what you were doing before this, or forget about what you have to do after this, and just be in the moment here. So you can sit crisscross applesauce. And again, to make the spine nice and long, you can sit with your back up against a wall if you want, or you can take the pillow or the blanket and put it right under your tailbone, your little sits bones in your glutes, and that will help just to lift you up. I'm going to take mine out just because I do not need it, but feel free to use it whenever you want to, whenever you feel like you need that extra support. So palms are up to the sky, backs of the hands on the knees, and we are just going to roll these shoulders back and down, just scoop and lower. Grow that spine nice and long in opposition. Elongate the space from your earlobes to your shoulders. Big inhales and exhales here. Last one in this direction, and then we get to reverse. So bring those shoulders up and forward. You might have to move those elbows out to help. And still have that spine grow nice and long. Big deep breaths here. 3 more. A last one. Leave those backs of the hands on your knees. We are going to just isolate this torso, and we're going to take your upper body, keeping the hips down stable, move it to the right side, and then back to center, and then to the left, and back to center. So when I'm moving to the right, I'm not picking up these legs. This stays stable, so we can really articulate through this center here. Lace up the rib cage like a shoelace, so you're firing up from this core. And always breathe through this. We just have 3 more sets, and then we'll go ahead and lay down. 2 more. Last set. Last side. Beautiful. Bring it back to center, and you can take the pillow out or the blanket out from under your glutes, because we are going to turn to the side and we are going to lay down. So just get into a nice little comfy position, roll and rock yourself down, make some extra room for your legs because they're going to go long eventually. But first we're going to start in what I like to call our little pyramid position. So the ankles and the knees and the hips are in a nice neutral position. These arms are long and strong. And before we get started with any movement here, again, I'm just going to have us take a big inhale through your nose and exhale. And it might feel weird to breathe this deep, but I promise this is good for those muscles. They need this oxygen. And one big inhale and an exhale. That's 1 breath cycle. So we're going to do 3 more breath cycles, taking it at your own pace. Just big inhales, exhale. Feel the rib cage expand, and then lace it up together. Last one, inhale, and exhale. Now gluing these legs together, like I saran wrapped your legs together, we're gonna do our knee waves, and our arms stay long and strong down by your sides, and all you're gonna do is take those knees up and over to one side, fire up from those obliques to bring the knees up and over to the opposite side. So even though this is a stretch, a nice big stretch for your abdominals as well as your spine, we wanna work those obliques while we're here, just to get in exercise in any possible way that we can. Again, big deep breaths. And if you feel like one side is tighter than the other, you can sink there and melt with big inhales and exhales, or you can just keep flowing through this. I really want you to listen to your body and be aware. 3 more. 2. A last set. A last side. Bring it back up to center. Back down in your nice neutral position where your ankles and your knees and your hips are all in line. Arms are staying long and strong, and we are going to imprint the spine. I'm going to move my arms just so you can kind of see. I call this your mouse house. So naturally, sometimes you'll be able to fit your other arm through under your lower back. And when we imprint our spine, I want us to take a big inhale, exhale, lay every vertebrae of our spine down on that mat. So there's no mouse house. I can't reach through my lower back. And then we're going to open the rib cage, kind of lift and then take a big exhale, scoop it all down, imprint that spine. And each imprint, I want us to hold for just a couple seconds, just so we can really work through that core. So open it up, get that nice big stretch in opposition to release and open through the rib cage, and then big exhale, imprint that spine, pull up the pelvic floor, drive that belly button down into your spine, and release. Open up that rib cage, you get that little mouse house. And then relax, imprint that spine, work through that core, lace up that rib cage like the back of a wedding dress or some shoelaces, and open it up. We'll just do 3 more here. Big exhale, imprint that spine, no mouse house through. Everything is glued down onto the floor or the mat below you. And open it up to get that big counter stretch. And even this works your core big time. And last one, exhale, imprint this. Keep the spine imprinted here. That way you are staying engaged in that core. And if you ever find yourself having the mouse house, just take another big inhale, and on your exhale, keep that spine imprinted. Drive that belly button down into your spine to work through the core even more. Keeping these arms long and strong, just send that right leg long out in front of you. We're gonna work on some external rotation. And naturally, the top of our foot is up straight up to the sky. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna start from this inner thigh. You're gonna work from the inner thigh to externally rotate all the way around, squeezing down into the glute. Try to touch your pinky toe to the mat, and then bring it back up. So you see my little foot go over to the side like it's laying. Taking a little nap and bringing it back in, but that's really working those inner thighs and that external rotation. And big deep breaths here. You'll start to feel that inner thigh fire up. You have to rotate right from this hip so the whole leg is working. And again, take this at your own pace. Keep that spine imprinted down onto the mat. The more and more we get going through this, the more and more there's things to think about, but I'll keep reminding us. And make sure you're breathing through this. Try to tap that little pinky toe, get that external rotation, and bring it back in. Just for 3 more. 2. Last one. Bring it back to your neutral position. Bring this right knee back into your pyramid position and send that left leg long. So reaching that left toe out from opposition, reaching nice and long, growing nice and long through that spine. Start from this external rotation from the inner thigh. Touch the little pinky toe to the mat if you can, and bring it back to center. Start right from this hip to rotate. Bring it in. Keeping that spine imprinted and glued. Big deep breaths here. Taking this at your own pace, really firing up from those inner thighs. Breathe through this, still driving the belly button down into your spine, keeping that rib cage laced up so you can work through that core. Just 3 more. Really want to drive home this external rotation. Last one, tap that little pinky toe, bring it back to center, and keep the left leg long and send your right one out to meet it. So both of our legs are long, we're having a nice long spine, no mouse house here. And this time, we're gonna turn out to what we call our Pilates stance. And all that means is that your heels are glued together and your toes are open a fist distance width apart. So that's really working that external rotation. So keep the heels glued and right from these hips, these inner thighs, externally rotate it out. Try to touch those pinky toes towards the mat and bring it back into center. External rotation to open up and bring it in. Draw that belly button down into your spine. Big deep breaths here. Keep that rib cage laced. Grow those arms nice and long and strong. We always want to be pushing energy down into those hands. Work through these inner thighs, squeeze down into your glutes. Your quads are working, your hamstrings are working, your toes are pointed, those calves are starting to fire up. We've got 3 more. 2. And bring it back to center. Since we've had these toes pointed for quite some time, let's just flex those feet and point and flex and point, just so we can get a counter stretch. Because if at any point your toes start to cramp up, you can always flex and point those toes. And if your feet start to cramp up more often than you would like, you just need to drink more water. You need that all the way down in those muscles so they don't cramp up. Big deep breaths here just to stretch it out. 2. The last one, point those toes and let's circle these ankles in one direction. Just so we can really stretch out through these ankles, stretch out through these feet, because we are not done with our external rotation quite yet. This is going to be a theme for the rest of the class. And reverse that direction. Circle those ankles in the opposite direction. Stretching out from the ankles, releasing through those little toes. 2 more. Last one. Bring those knees back into your good position. Ankles, knees, hips right in line, nice neutral. No mouse house here. Imprint that spine, drive that belly button down. Let's hug your right knee into your chest for a nice big stretch. You get that nice big hamstring stretch here. 2 more breath cycles. 1 big inhale and exhale. Last one, big inhale and exhale. We are going to take this right toe straight up to the sky. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, you can always have a slight little bend behind your knee, and you can always be in your tabletop position if your toe can't reach up to the sky. But I promise you'll get there soon. The more and more you work, the easier it'll be. So we are going to externally rotate, for 2 seconds, because this is giving me some hassles, and I don't want it to fall on me. Now that should be good. Okay, now we'll do that external rotation. So the right toes up to the sky, spine is imprinted, belly button down into your spine, and naturally you see directly the top of your foot. And what I want us to do is take that energy from the inner thigh and externally rotate. I want us to look at our heel and bring it back to center. And externally rotate, feel the wrap and squeeze from the inner thigh down into the booty, and bring it back to neutral. Take a peek at that side heel and bring it in. Take this at your own pace. Right from that hip, nothing else is moving, just this right leg. This is where we get our stability and mobility. The rest of our body is stable, but that right leg's doing all the work right now. For 3, 2, hold this external rotation. So this is really going to fire up from your inner thigh down into your booty, and it's a lot harder to hold than you would think. Eyesight can come up to your belly button if you wish. If your abs are strong enough, your eyesight will be able to look at your belly button without getting any strain in your neck. But if you start to get a little pull in your neck, feel free to rest that head back down. And if you want to use your pillow under your head here for just a little support as well. Holding this external rotation, whether your head is up or down, we are going to lower 2 inches. Hold that leg and take a big inhale and exhale. Again, lower another 2 inches, big inhale and exhale. Lower it again, big inhale and exhale. Lower it again, big inhale and exhale. Now we reverse, bring it up 2 inches. Inhale and exhale, up, inhale, and exhale up, inhale, and exhale up. Last one, last big inhale, and exhale, and let's lower and lift this leg for 10, just to really drive it home in that quad. Still holding that external rotation, you want to be able to see that heel. Fire up through the inner thighs. We have 5. Breathe through this. 3, 2, and hug this right knee into your chest. Let that head rest down if it was up. And circle this ankle in one direction. Big deep breaths. And reverse that direction. And let's release this right leg down, back in pyramid position. Hugging the left knee in now. Give it a nice big hug and stretch. You get the big stretch from your glute into your hamstring. Let's do 2 breath cycles here. Big inhale. And exhale. Big inhale. And exhale. Let's just take this down. It's too windy in here. Keep breathing there. Big inhale. And exhale. Let's send this left toe straight up to the sky. We are going to work through this external rotation here as well. So start from the inner thigh. Bring that heel so you can see it in your eyesight. Bring it back to neutral. So now you just see the back of your foot. Open it up so you can see that heel and bring it back to center. Just working through this left leg, taking it at your own pace here, keeping everything else stable, lacing that rib cage together. Three more. Drive that belly button down into your spine. Hold this external rotation so your heel is in your eyesight. Eyesight up at your belly button, or your head can rest down, or you can use a pillow for support. We are going to lower this leg 2 inches to take a big inhale and exhale, lower, big inhale and exhale, lower, big inhale and exhale, lower, inhale and exhale, lower, inhale and exhale. Now we lift to reverse. Keep inhaling and lift. Inhale and exhale and lift. Big inhale and exhale and lift. Big inhale and exhale and lift. Last one. Big inhale and exhale, lower and lift for your 10. Feeling like you're going through wet cement, I still want you to be able to see that heel turned out in your external rotation. Don't go back to that neutral position. Stay engaged. Work through that inner thigh. 4, 5. Work through these abs. 3, 2, and hug this left knee in. Rest that head down if it was up, and circle that ankle in one direction. Big deep breaths here to release and melt. And reverse that direction. Release this left leg down back into your little pyramid position. I'm going to have us stretch out our core and our spine because next we're going to get into some 100s, which really test that core strength. So I want us to get a nice big stretch prior. Let's take that right leg, cross it over your left like you're sitting in a chair, and just drop these legs to the left side and take these arms and your eyesight and your fingertips in opposition. So taking your eyesight with those fingertips is going to let you release and get this full rotation through your spine. And that way you can melt as much as you possibly can. Big deep breaths. Beautiful. Take a big inhale, exhale, bring it back up to center to uncross to cross the opposite. So now the left is crossed over the right, and drop these knees to the right side of the room, taking the eyesight and the arms reaching in opposition. Reaching to the left, getting that nice full rotation through your spine. Big inhales and exhales here to release and melt like a little popsicle. Last one, big inhale And exhale, bring it back to center. Uncross those legs. We are going to start working through our 100s. But as opposed to me, since it's a beginner class, as opposed to me counting all the way to 100 nonstop, I'm going to break it in half just so we can get the feel of it. But eventually we'll work our way up to the 100 all the way through. So bring those knees into your tabletop position. And your tabletop position is, imagine you have a plate of food on your shins. You don't want to spill it onto the floor and you don't want to spill it onto yourself. You want to balance that. We are going to go right from our tabletop position, flex those feet, keep the heels glued, but the knees and the toes open. So the knees are in line with your shoulders and the toes are a fist distance width apart. This is us being open in our external Pilates stance position. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see. I hope you can see my little toes are separated, fist distance apart, heels are suction cupped together, and knees are in line with my shoulders. We are going to start hands up to the sky. When we do our 100, your eyesight can be at your belly button if you want to make it harder for your core, or you can rest it down and you can always have the pillow behind your head for extra support if you need it. Let's start from here, going through a 50, taking a big inhale, exhale. All that you do is keep these arms nice and long, legs stay where they are, arms are elevated, and we do little pumps. Big inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw that belly button down into your spine. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug those knees in, rest that head down if it was up. So that was our 100 cut in half. That tests your core strength big time. Big deep breaths here, just so we can take a little bit of a rest, and then we're gonna power through the other half of the 100 to do another 50. And then we'll switch up our leg position to make it a little bit harder for your core. So bring it back to your tabletop position. Pretend you're balancing that plate of food. Flex those feet, keep those heels glued together, open up the knees and the toes. Toes are a fist width apart. Those knees are right in line with your shoulders. Hands up to the sky. One more 50 here. Big inhale, exhale, send those arms long. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure that spine is imprinted. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug those knees in, rest that head back down, and rock from side to side to massage out through that spine. Take nice big inhales and exhales here. Throughout Pilates, each exercise gets harder and harder because Pilates is a progression exercise. So this next sequence, our legs will be in a different position, but we're gonna hold the same format. So we're gonna do 2 50s back to back, just with a little rest in the middle, just so we can get the feel of it. Now this time, your toes are straight up to the sky. And again, if your hamstrings are too tight and you can't reach your toes straight up, you can always have a slight little bend, or you can always come back down to the tabletop position that we started in. It is all up to you, and I always want you to listen to your body. But if you're ready for this next transition, toes up to the sky, you are going to glue these heels together and open up to your Pilates stance position. So again, I'm going to turn to the side. My toes are fist distance width apart. My heels are glued together. That really is working the inner thighs, working my booty. So let's take those hands up to the sky to prep into our 100 cut in half. Big inhale, exhale, arms shoot long. Take a big inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drive that belly button down into your spine. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4,
5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug it in. Rest that head down if it was up. Big deep breaths here to relax and release. Big inhale through your nose and let your exhale last longer through that mouth. 2 more big inhales. And exhale. Last one big inhale. And exhale. So we have to power through our other half of our 100. So again, toes up to the sky if you can, or you can always be down in your tabletop position. Glue those heels externally, rotate your Pilates stance. The toes are fists width apart. Inner thighs fired up, booty squeezing. Arms up to the sky. Big inhale, exhale, send it out to your 100. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep powering through this. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug it in. Rest that head down. Rock from side to side. Massage out through that spine. Nice big deep breaths here. Inhales through your nose and exhales through your mouth. That exhale should always last longer than your inhale to relax and calm your body. But we have one more round here. And this round, I am going to challenge us to go through a 100 all the way through. But if we're going through it and we get halfway there and you're like, oh my gosh, I need a break, my abs are on fire, go for it. Listen to your body. If you want to just do a 50 and breathe while we do the other half, or if you want to do a 50, take some counts off and join in for the other half, it is all up to you. You listen to your body. This one's going to be the hardest one. So our knees start in our tabletop position. Flex those feet. Keep the heels glued, open up to your Pilates stance position. We are going to hold out in our Pilates stance position. Your legs, for this position, if you want to keep continuing with the progression, are going to be nice and long, toes pointed. But as always, your toes can be straight up to the sky or staying in that little tabletop position. Wherever you feel like your legs can hold, and you can do half and half, it's all up to you. Listen to your body and always breathe through this. But let's start in your little froggy position. This is what we call it. Hands up to the sky. Taking a big inhale, exhale, go out to your 100, wherever that is. And take a big inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're halfway there. Keep inhaling. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Listen to your body if you need a break. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug it in. Rest that head down. Big deep breaths. Rock from side to side. Massage out through that spine. Big deep breaths. Big inhales and exhales. That is some hard core work. So you guys powered through and did it. Keep taking a nice big inhale and exhale. Stretch out that core. Stretch out that spine. Two more breath cycles. Big inhale and exhale. Last one, big inhale and exhale to release. Let's take these hands, wrap them around on our inner thighs. or not on our inner thighs, excuse me, sorry, on our hamstrings. And we're gonna rock and roll ourselves up to a nice tall seated position. I'm gonna have us do some rolling, our roll ups, but they're gonna be kind of half. So that way we stay engaged the whole time. This one's gonna get our core even more. So you take it at your own pace. Tomorrow you're gonna be feeling this. We're starting in our neutral position. So our legs are not glued together. Our ankles and our knees and our hips are all in line. And this first round, like again, it's a progression exercise. So we're gonna start with the easiest and work our way up. Our hands are gonna be on our hamstrings. We don't wanna have any slouchy here. We want a nice long spine, roll those shoulders back and down, lace that rib cage together. Now, we are going to start with our C curve. So all that means is picture that you have a tiny little ball, like a tennis ball in your belly button, and it's gonna take you're gonna take a big exhale, and you start to curve through that spine, and you're gonna just roll back until your arms are straight. So you're staying engaged. And then you scoop, kind of tuck this chin, lift, nice long spine. So I want us to flow through our spine, just so we get the feel. Take that belly button energy down, C curve. Go as far back as you can until those arms are straight. Tuck the chin, scoop up, like you're like a little snake. And start again, C curve. Go as far back as your arms will let you. Tuck the chin, follow the eyesight, back up so you're sitting nice long spine. Keep those feet glued to the mat like I duct taped them. Scoop it down, C curve. Go as far back as your arms will let you go straight, and scoop to lift. We've got 4 more here. Start with that C curve, work through that core, tuck the chin, and lift to bring it up. 3 more, C curve. Straighten those arms, and when they're straight, scoop to lift. 2 more, scoop right from that belly button down until those arms are straight, and lift and bring it back up. Last one here, start with that C curve. Go until the arms are straight and bring it all the way up. Beautiful. Take 1 breath cycle here. Big inhale and exhale. Now we're going to change up this arm position. So we won't have the stability and the safety net of our hands being on our hamstrings. You can if you want to and you feel like that's as advanced as you can go. But if you want to challenge yourself, this time your arms are out long in front of you. We have a nice long spine. We are going to start from the C curve again. This time we're going to roll back just until our shoulder blades tap the mat and roll ourselves back up. That way we're staying engaged the entire time and those upper abdominals are really going to be feeling it. So you're going to take a big inhale, exhale, start from the C curve. Roll down, glue those feet down onto the mat, tap the shoulder blades, tuck the chin, scoop, lift it up, nice long spine. So keeping those feet glued to the mat ensures that you're working your core. If you start to feel those feet lift off, really work through the core even more. And having the bent knees really helps. So again, exhale, C curve, scoop, 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 scoop. Tap the shoulder blades and lift. Follow this movement with your breath. It really helps. Because at the hardest point is when I lift up and I take a big exhale to help lift myself back up. And keep flowing through this. Roll it down as far as you can until you tap the shoulder blades and lift and scoop. And if you need the extra support from those hamstrings still, go ahead and use them. Listen to your body. We've got 3 more here. Roll it down. Tap the shoulder blades and lift. Big exhale. 2 more. C curve, scoop. Tap shoulder blades and lift. This is really getting the core. Last one here. Roll it down and lift. Beautiful. Rest those hands down by your sides. Straighten those legs, and so they're the width of your mat, or they're a little bit wider than your hip distance, and we're going to stretch out the backs of these legs. Taking these hands up from the sky, all you're going to do is take a big inhale, exhale, dive it down, and walk walk it through. You get a nice big stretch. The backs of my legs are very tight, so my hamstrings are feeling it right now, but on each exhale, you just feel yourself melt a little bit deeper into the stretch. And walk it up one vertebrae at a time, so your head is the last thing to come up. Reach those hands up to the sky and dive it down. Walk through those legs. Get that nice big stretch. Listen to your body. And walk it back up. Now let's just do 2 more here. Reach the fingers up. Scoop and dive it down. Walk it over to those toes. That nice big stretch behind the backs of your legs. And scoop it up one vertebrae at a time. Last one here. Scoop and dive it down. Reach over to those toes. Grow long through the spine. And walk it back up one vertebrae at a time, so your head is the last thing to come up. I am going to have us practice rolling like a ball, because it's my favorite one. So we are going to come back into our little pyramid position. We have a nice long spine. And now for our first 2, we're going to practice our balancing with it, and then we'll roll back. But if you have osteopenia or osteoporosis, we do not want you rolling up and down on that spine. So you can hold in that balancing position like we're going to do before we start. And that still is going to work your core just as much. So first round, point those little toes. So your big toes are tapping on the mat or the floor below you. And your hands are on your hamstrings. Now we're just going to lift those toes off the mat and find that nice little balancing point on your tailbone. And you are just going to breathe here. We're going to do 5 breath cycles because I really want us to find our balance. So taking nice big inhales and exhales. Keep breathing through this, but keep in mind that those shoulders need to be rolled back and down. The elbows are a little wide, legs glued together. The belly button is driving down into your spine, staying engaged. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Let's just do 2 more. Nice big inhale and exhale to release. Last one, big inhale and exhale to release. Now you're just going to tap the toes on the mat and lift and tap and lift. Keep those knees glued together. And this is just testing your balance. Work through the core, keep the rib cage laced up, belly button down into your spine. We have 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Keep those toes lifted, but not as high, just hovering over the mat. Hands stay on the hamstrings. Make sure you have enough room behind you. So I'm gonna scoop just so I don't end up on the floor. And you're gonna find this balancing point, toes lifted, shoulders rolled back and down. And you are gonna take a big inhale, exhale, start with the C curve from that belly button to roll it down and lift it back up. And you wanna control, control, control. So this is our control and balance here, a big principle of Pilates. Roll it back and scoop to lift. Because if you go like a bat out of hell, then you're gonna lose your control. And you wanna keep that core tight. Scoop it lower and lift. And this one's fun for me. Once you start to get the rhythm, it feels like you're like on a swing. Big inhales and exhales. Nice long spine. Roll those shoulders back and down. Every time you get to the top, we have 3 more here. 2. Last one. Bring it up. Hold your balance, and now take those hands from your hamstrings down onto your bottoms of your feet or your ankles. So you can either be holding like your shins, or you can be fully wrapped around those toes, which is whatever's comfortable for you is great with me. The whole point of this is just forces us not to change the size of our ball when we roll back and up. That way we stay engaged and stay tight and stay controlled. So wherever you want to grab on your shins or the bottoms of your feet around your ankles, big inhale, exhale, roll it back and scoop to lift. And you'll feel it's a little bit more challenging as soon as you place your hands in a different position. But you just have to control more and more here, taking it at your own pace, feeling like you're going through wet cement. Big deep breaths. We have just 4 more. Power through this. See, sometimes even I can't find my balance. 2 more. Last one back. And bring it up and in. And set those feet down. And take a big inhale to scoop and roll it down. Arms are reaching over your head, reaching in opposition. You're gonna take that right leg, cross it over your left again, and drop those. Just because we really worked that, and we're really working through the spine. So I wanna give it a nice big stretch. And this time we're just gonna keep the hands reaching above our head to reach in opposition and really stretch nice and long. And make sure you're breathing and melting here. Nice big inhales and exhales. Last one, nice big inhale and exhale. Bring those knees back up to the center. Uncross those legs to cross the left over your right. Drop it to the right side of the room. And take your big inhale and exhale here. Release and melt, grow nice and long through the spine, stretching out your obliques, stretching out the core, getting that nice rotation. You even get a nice glute stretch down on the side of your glute here. Reaching those fingertips in opposition above your head, and just keep breathing. Let's do 2 more breath cycles. Big inhale, and exhale to release. Last one, big inhale, and exhale to release. Let's bring it back to center. Uncross those legs, arms come long and strong down by your sides. And we are just gonna with some bridging, which really gets the glutes and the hamstrings. And so we're laying down and the legs are glued together like I saran wrapped you. When we do our bridging, I tell my clients, pretend that you have a $100 bill in between your knees and you do not want to lose it. You need that $100, especially now. So glue those knees, which forces you to work through those inner thighs even more. And now you may feel it as soon as you glue those knees together because of all the external rotation we did in the beginning. Throughout this, the arms are going to be long and strong. You always want to feel like you're pushing energy down through the palms of your hands so the arms and the triceps start to fire up. That way, you're working your whole body. And throughout this, the rib cage is laced. There's like 900 things to think about, and on top of it, I want to make sure that we're breathing. So keeping those knees together, you are going to scoop up, starting from the very your tailbone, your very lowest vertebrae, and you're just going to scoop up into your bridge, shooting your knees up over your toes, lacing that rib cage, and exhale, roll it down 1 vertebrae at a time. This isn't a race here. I just want to have us articulate up to scoop, and exhale, melt to lower. Keep those knees glued together. Extra squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings. And roll it down. And take this at your own pace. Keep that core fired up. Every time you come up, create a nice little shallow bowl with your hips and your tummy. And roll it down. Just keep peeling through this, working through that spine, working through the glutes and the hamstrings. This is a little bit harder than you would think it would be, especially going slow. We just have 4 more here. The spine is like a little pearl necklace, 1 vertebrae down at a time, and then lift it up 1 vertebrae at a time. Breathe through this. We have 2 more. Scoop to lift. And lower. Last one, scoop to lift. And lower. Hold it here in your neutral position. I'm gonna have us take 2 breath cycles. Nice big inhale. And exhale to release. Last one, nice big inhale. And exhale to release. We just have one more round of our bridging here. This one, we're gonna bridge up for 3, hold it on our 3rd one, and do some booty taps with extra drives at home in the glutes and the hamstrings. So the arms are long and strong. Fire up from those arms. Glue that $100 bill between your knees. Lace the rib cage up. And let's bridge up to scoop for 3. Lift. And exhale, melt and lower. Scoop to lift. And exhale, release. Hold this last one up. And now you're just gonna do your booty taps. Tap the booty down onto your mat and lift. Tap and squeeze. Keep those knees glued. Every time you lift, extra squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings. Use those hands to push down into your mat to help. We have 5, 3, 2, 1. Roll it down, 1 vertebrae of your spine at a time. Beautiful. We're gonna open it up to a happy baby stretch. So you're just gonna take your hands on the bottoms of your feet and your knees are almost like into your armpits. And you're just gonna rock from side to side. This is a great stretch to do after bridging because it helps to open up your hips. It really stretches out the glutes and the hamstrings. And this just decompresses your lower back. So nice big inhales and exhales here. You can rock from side to side to melt even deeper into this. 2 more breath cycles. 1 big inhale. And exhale to release. Last one, big inhale. And exhale to release. Release out of this stretch, hugging your knees into your chest, wrapping those hands around on your hamstrings, and let's rock and roll ourselves up so we're in a nice seated position. I'm gonna have us breathe it out. So we're gonna be crisscross applesauce. And here you can, again, have your spine against a wall or use your pillow or your blanket to put it right under your sits bones so we can have a nice long spine. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. The backs of the hands are on your knees. And you're gonna take a big inhale to scoop those hands up. And exhale, release. Inhale, grow that spine nice and long. And release, let those shoulders fall back and down. 2 more, scoop to lift, big inhale. And exhale to release. Last one, big inhale to scoop. Prayer position these hands. Exhale them down to your heart center. Your eyes can blink closed and your head can tip down. With one last big inhale. And on your exhale, feel all the stress release out of your body. Open up those eyes, open up your hands, and you guys did it this morning. Thank you so much for joining. You all did absolutely amazing. Great way to start out your Saturday. Hopefully you guys can go out, take a nice walk, enjoy the rest of your day and the weather. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them now, or if you come up with some later, you can shoot Sangeeta an email. She'll relay them to me and I can address them all for you guys. But you did amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next week, Saturday. Bye-bye.